I've been drifting through my mind where the silence talks. Stars fall slow in my intrusive thoughts. City lights flicker, heart sinks with the plot. Reality bends when the questions start. I hear echoes of the truth in distortion and bass. See reflections of the void when I look in my face. Every word, every pose, just a code in the fog. I'm a mirror for the madness and I talk to God. Intrusive us. They whisper, they twist, they nod. Intrusive us.
Is the Intruesive Thoughts Podcast.
Welcome back, y'all. This is the Intruesive Thoughts Podcast. Hoop talk. You know, we're coming down to the wire. It's been a wild, great regular season. Before the season started, my first kind of episode was talking about my predictions. And, you know, I was saying, these are my best predictions. I think this is my best award predictions yet. Well, we're going to dive into it. We're going to see where I was right. We're going to see where I was wrong. And, you know, headed into the playoffs, at the end of the season, we're going to do a little playoff bracket, predict who's going to win the finals. I think we already know who I'm going to pick, but let's just get right into it. You know, to start the year, there's a lot of predictions I had very high conviction on, and pretty much all of them. And some of them turned out great, some of them didn't. You know what I mean? One of the ones that I'm very proud of, being, you know, from Massachusetts, is I knew the Celtics were going to be, I mean, maybe not this good. I predicted anywhere from 43 to 49 wins. They already have 50. So, I mean, Joe Mazzulla being the coach of the year seems like it should be a lock. Nobody expected this. And that's, I think, you know, people could say I thought that because, you know, I'm from here. I'm a Celtics fan. All my friends are Celtics fans. But it's just like, if you look at the way that this roster was constructed, I said I was a big fan of Luka Garza. A lot of people hated on that. He's been solid. He could shoot the three ball. He's a good big body. I did not expect Neemias Queta to be as good as he is. You know, I kind of expected Derek White to be better than he was, but Peyton Pritchard has been great. A lot of the role players, Jordan Walsh was great in the beginning of the year. Josh Minot, when he was a part of the team, was great. Hugo Gonzalez has been way better than I thought he'd be as a rookie. This team has just put together a really, really solid season. They don't make mistakes. They play Celtics basketball, and, you know, people joke around and say, Mazzulla ball, threes. It's not going to work. Well, his type of team is a team that can win games without having that big three or the dominant star. Now, that being said, a big reason for why the Celtics are so good is Jaylen Brown. And that's where I was wrong. I was not sold on Jaylen Brown. I still don't really advertise the way his basketball play. Like, I don't enjoy watching his type of basketball. He doesn't pass the ball. He gets the ball, tunnel vision. I'm not gonna be negative on him because he's had a great year. He's proven me wrong. Top 5, rightfully so, in MVP conversations. Averaging 30 a night, which I said I could see in my predictions. You know, playing great defense. Now with Tatum back, the Celtics are looking like, I mean, Tatum hasn't been the Tatum that we know and love, but the Celtics are looking way better. They're moving the ball a lot. Tatum just on the floor creates a whole bunch of other problems, regardless of whether or not he's scoring 30 a night. Just another guy that can handle the ball, make plays, and is just a focal point of the offense is going to help them a lot come playoff time. And I think a lot of people are leaning towards picking them as, like, their Eastern Conference pick to go to the finals or whatever. So, I mean, I said Mazzulla was going to be a coach of the year. Coach of the year now, there's, you can pick the teams with the coaches that are the coaches with the teams that are going to make the biggest jump. Quinn Snyder on the Hawks, Jacques Vaughn with the Met, whatever you want to do. But to me, I'm going with Joe Mazzulla. No Jason Tatum. I'm not a big believer in Jaylen Brown. This roster is still pretty good, but also just a little weird. Has a lot. I don't know really what their lineups are going to look like. I watched a little bit of preseason. It just seemed like a lot of Jaylen Brown and Derek White, which fine with. I think Derek White is could definitely be an all-star this year if the Celtics do what I think that they could do. And if they do what I think they could do, Joe Mazzulla definitely should win Coach of the Year. I believe their win totals high 30s on the books. They're definitely going to be above 500. I don't think they'll be in the play-in. He definitely is the Coach of the Year. The Celtics, I said, were definitely going to be above 500. They blew that out of the water. I think that was free money if you bet on their line. I said it was high 30s. I believe it ended at 41-42 or whatever. Easy win. So where I was right, Joe Mazzulla, Coach of the Year. Where I was wrong, Jaylen Brown just wasn't sold on you. Still not my type of player, but phenomenal year. Hats off to JB. And let's get into the next one. I had a segment on that first episode talking about surprise teams in the East, surprise teams in the West, and they really were great picks, in my humble opinion. In the Eastern Conference, we already talked about the Celtics. That was easy. That shouldn't even be a surprise, but to the league it was. Another Eastern Conference team where I was wrong was the Milwaukee Bucks. I thought Giannis was going to play more this year. I thought the Bucks had a decent enough team to make a run if Giannis was healthy. But all the games with the Giannis to the Knicks rumors or Giannis being in and out, then you have, you need continuity to build throughout the year and momentum to build throughout the year, and the Bucks never got that. Even when Giannis has played, they haven't been that great. But, obviously his on-off numbers are phenomenal. But just the Bucks, I believe I said Giannis should not want to be traded. But I am so sick of this man. So, you know what? Trade him. He's injured. Maybe he's playing injured, so when he goes to another team, he's actually way healthier than he's let on. But why would he do that if he wants the Bucks to maximize the packs that they're getting for him? It's just, I'm so sick of the Giannis crap. But I was wrong about the Bucks, right about the Celtics. And, I was right about the Suns. And, another surprise team nobody saw doing what they're doing. But Jordan Knott, great young coach. That's the wave. I heard odd numbers on the board. They're talking about how that's the wave of getting these young coaches that can mesh well with the players and have a better language, better communication with these players, because these older coaches are just so played out. Their coaching style is so played out, and the Suns are a perfect example of that. Dylan Brooks has been phenomenal. Mark Williams has been great. What they got back in the KD trade, people thought it wasn't that much, but Rasheer Flemings has been playing great lately. I haven't been watching as much basketball as I want, but I watch highlights every morning, and Rasheer Flemings has had some good games. Devin Booker is a great leader. I think they just have a lot of really solid basketball players. They don't have a team that can contend, but they have a lot of promise, and they have a lot of pieces in which I think they could package to go get, a star player if they want to, or that are attractive to free agents to come there. Phoenix is an attractive destination regardless. But the Suns, man, I thought they were going to be in the playoffs. I don't know if I thought they would be this good, but that's just another avenue where I was right. Now, on the flip side, I was a big believer in the Pelicans. I mean, I'm a big believer in Zion Williamson. I thought he had the potential to be the greatest of all time coming out of college. I mean, with that hype that he had, you can't blame me. You know what I mean? But I thought with him healthy, all the good players that they have, good young rookies, they'd be able to come in and, win some games. But they just proved me wrong, and they traded a pick that's going to be top 5. Derek Queen looked really good in the beginning and kind of fallen off, but Jeremiah Fears is looking good too. I don't know where this team goes. This year was just a failure. I don't know if, especially with the whole talks about the tanking things, I was going to say, do you just blow it up? But what are you going to do? You're going to trade Zion Williamson, then he's going to go to a team, average 25 on 60% shooting, be one of the best number 2s in the league, and dominate, and then you're going to look like an idiot. Like when you traded Anthony Davis. This is a little bit of a tangent, but that just reminded me. I saw this graphic on Twitter where it showed, it was like somebody said, I'm not really a believer in conspiracies, but hear me out, or something like that. And it was a graphic of Chris Paul traded to the Clippers, traded to LA. That offseason, or that next year, they get the number 1 pick and they get Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is traded to the Lakers. In that following season, they get the number 1 pick and they get Zion Williamson. Now it's got me thinking, are they gonna, what if they trade Zion Williamson and get the number 1 pick and get who, you know what I mean? But both of those trades from, Chris Paul going to the Clippers, Anthony Davis going to the Lakers, resulted in high level winning. I don't know. The Clippers could, feeding LA stars. Why not send Zion to the Clippers to play with a dynamic point guard in Darius Garland? It would be a clear 1-2-3 in Kawhi, Zion, Garland. Clear. That's solid. I mean, you could make a push. I'm just saying. Anyways, I was completely wrong about the Pelicans this year. They were not good. They were one of the worst teams in the league. Sometimes they looked great and played up to their competition, but a lot of times they weren't healthy, or whatever the case may be. I don't know if it's coaching. You can't always blame coaching. That front office is just, I think it's Joe Dumars. It's just pathetic. They need to do something. Wow. That was a mouthful. Anyways. Now this next one is not, it's not a shocker looking back at the video. I knew Cooper Flag was going to be phenomenal. He's proven me right there. But I didn't pick him to win Rookie of the Year. I picked Ace Bailey. Now, I did that without knowing the Jazz had a budding star in Keontae George. I kind of probably forgot about Larry Markkinen. They have Walker Kessler, who is in and out. Jaren Jackson, the trade coming through. It's like they weren't tanking, but then they clearly were tanking once they realized they couldn't win these games. I talked about it on that episode, the first episode, that if they kept it close, all these games close, which I believe they could, that Ace Bailey could take them home. He missed some games in the beginning. It took him a while to find his groove, but I still think he's got the potential to be as good, if not better, than a lot of these rookies that are showing out, like Cooper Flag and Con Knipple. And I said it was my favorite pick, Ace Bailey, to be Rookie of the Year. If he played like he's playing now in the beginning of the year, and the Jazz were definitively tanking so that he could get all the minutes and all the shots or whatever, they are benching their players like Keontae George, Jaren Jackson, all these people in the fourth quarter and stuff. It's I don't know. How can anybody on that team win any sort of award when you don't have a consistent rotation? But Cooper Flag has been phenomenal. I think next year the Mavericks are going to be a problem, depending on what they get in the draft. And this offseason, you still have Kyrie Irving, you have Cooper Flag, Derek Lively will be back. They can make some noise. I mean, they're not going to be the demons that 2K has them if you sim a season, but Cooper Flag's a dog, and I don't think anybody picked Con Knipple to win Rookie of the Year. Shout out to him. He fits perfectly with the Hornets. Seems to be the piece that they were missing, because we all thought, like, they have so much talent but can't win games. They needed that consistent offensive firepower from Con Knipple, because when LaMelo goes cold, when Brandon Miller goes cold, or one of them's hurt, you have a guy that can come in and replace, if not boost, the offensive floor of these guys when they're not hitting. And he's averaging close to 20 a game. Like, bro, I barely knew who he was when he played at Duke. I thought he was just going to be like JJ Redick or, like, you know, like Christian Laettner. I mean, no, Christian Laettner's no slouch. But anyways, yeah, I was wrong on the whole Ace Bailey thing. But for plus 900, I'd bet that again. If we re-simulated the season, I'd bet that again, and I bet it over and over and over and over again, because I damn sure wasn't betting Con Knipple at whatever he was at. But shout out to y'all who did, because you're right. This is going to be my favorite segment of all this. My MVP pick, literally for like the past few years, has been Luka Doncic. I think I had a Tatum year in there one time. And no, this is no shot to SGA, because we'll get to that. But I was right. I don't think Luka's going to win MVP. But I was dead right that he would lead the league in scoring, and that he would have a chip on his shoulder, and he's averaging like 40 in like the last month. Like, this guy's playing at an unbelievable level. It's kind of, I think if like a team like the Lakers is not the 1 seed or very high up there, it's going to be hard to win MVP, because you have so much spotlight on you. You need to be that dominant. Like, even the Celtics, when they're the 1 seed, like Tatum got MVP love, but he never won the MVP. And it's like, Luka is dominating in such a way, it's kind of nuts. I think Austin Reeves in the beginning of the year kind of stole some shine from him, because Austin Reeves was balling. And, you know, LeBron's going to always take his portion of the attention. But Luka's killing it. He's absolutely killing it. So even though I don't think he's going to win MVP, he is top 5. If he played like this every year for his career, he would probably win multiple MVPs. It's just not his year this year. There's just a lot of narrative and a lot of things going on. But where I was wrong is I said I didn't think Shea could replicate what he did last year. But with less J-Dub, like literally very little of J-Dub, a lot of moving parts, a lot of people in and out of the lineup, Hartenstein, Chet, whoever. The one constant was Shea, and I was wrong for thinking he couldn't replicate, because he's doing that. And the Thunder are the 1 seed again, and we are the favorite to win the championship again, and Shea's going to win MVP again. This is a type of dominance from a guard that we haven't seen since, like, Kobe. You could say James Harden, but the winning wasn't there. Like, as far as, like, fear in your heart, like, you do not want this guy having the ball at the end of games. He probably, I think Wemby is trying to push for the MVP, but regardless, I think Shea is the clutch player of the year. If you watch all his game, like, he is so cold. He has ice in his veins, and shout out to him for potentially winning back-to-back MVPs. I will never doubt my young prince again, and I hope we make it back-to-back championships, because what a like, you know, another little tangent. I love these little tangents. I was yesterday or the day before, I was thinking about how I made a video when Paul George got traded to the Clippers. I had an orange OKC PG-13 hoodie, and I just took a lighter to it. I was so mad because Paul George had played like an MVP, and we just got dogged by the Utah Jazz in the first round. Like, I just think the potential was there with Russ, PG, even Melo was playing great. Like, I thought we had something special, and PG's, saying he wants to be here for a long time, yada, yada, yada. Then he goes and gets traded to the Clippers, and on his request, Kawhi's request, but he wanted to be there too. He wanted to go home. I took a lighter to that hoodie, and I burnt the shit out of it. I was so mad. I was like, what are we getting? A bunch of what are these draft picks gonna do with Kawhi and Paul George on the Clippers? They're gonna be Western Conference Finals every year. Like, obviously, I just wasn't thinking about the health aspect. Obviously, they're two players that kind of stop the ball. They don't really move it. So it's like they didn't work out as well as they probably should have. But we robbed them. We absolutely robbed them. SGA is going to go down as top 5 guard of all time. If he wins back-to-back MVPs, back-to-back championships, back-to-back finals MVPs, how many guards are above him? I mean, you have Jordan, you have Kobe, probably Steph, Magic. Is that it? Magic, Steph, Kobe, and Jordan. Like, I think that has to be it for. So if he does that this year, which he is favorited to do, all of those things, he's a top 5 guard of all time, and he's 27, like 26. Like, this is, I think we are not appreciating it enough. I know I'm a stan. I know the Thunder are my squad, but shout out to Shea. Shout out to, even Luka. Luka's a dog. He doesn't have the awards, but he could be. These two could easily have flip-flopped in the right situations as far as like all time. But that was just realizing in real time what we're witnessing with all this basketball. It's crazy. The greatness that we're witnessing is absolutely crazy. And this season has been so what do you want to call it? Balance in like a weird way. Like, excuse me. Anyways, let's get back to where I was right and where I was wrong. We're not going to spend too much time on this one. I mean, anybody with a couple of eyes, a couple of ears, anybody that's normal and not deformed and not mentally unstable and not, even people on the spectrum, all this, anybody that is with a beating heart would have picked Victor Wembanyama for Defensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, I mean, this one, it's already done. I mean, Wemby would have won it last year. He got hurt. He's a -2 something favorite, I think, to win it this year. Obviously, I think Evan Mobley can win it. I think Chet could win it. But if we're being honest, like 3 to 4 blocks a game on a team that will be a lot better, a lot of expectations, a lot of eyes on them, I think Wemby is a future face of the league. The only reason you wouldn't have picked him is due to health reasons, and I believe he's going to meet the threshold, and he was only a -2 something for favorite. Looking back at it, I wish I put like $500 at least on it, but obviously being 7'5", 7'6", whatever, health is going to be a concern with the 65 game rule. It's like, it's honestly, it would be hard to bet on season awards because you can't, it's more than just betting on production at this point when you're betting on like reliability and durability. But yeah, shocker. Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player of the Year. He's definitely going to win it. But where I was wrong when I was talking about it was like I gave nobody else a shot, and I've always been a big advocate for Chet Holmgren as far as like his comparisons to Wemby or their rivalry. Obviously, offensively, like I don't think they're that far apart in talent. I think the way the teams are built around each other are a little different, and the way that they play are a little different. But Victor Wembanyama Chet Holmgren definitely could have won Defensive Player of the Year this year, especially if he hit the requirement and Wemby didn't. He is, outside of Wembanyama, the best paint defender in the league. I kind of forgot about him too when I was making my bets for futures, because I didn't put him in DPOY in any of them in my little parlays, which I don't know why, because I think he is the best interior defender, like I just said, outside of Victor Wembanyama. And, Gobert had a push during the season, Asar Thompson and all that. But no surprise, Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player of the Year. I called him the future face of the league. He must have heard me and ran with it. He's so quotable and charismatic. And, people are saying that all this crying after winning and, enthusiasm in the regular season is all a show. But he seemed to be a student of the game. He knows what the league needs, and the league needs this. Shea can't be the best player in the league. Well, Shea is the best player in the league, but he's so quiet. Jokic, one of the best players in the league, he's so quiet. You need the fiery, competitive aspect from a Wemby, from a Luka, from an Anthony Edwards. Jason Tatum's quiet. Cade Cunningham's quiet. You need these guys. At the end of the day, it's entertainment. I know it's a sport, obviously, but it's entertainment, just like with everything else, just like with music, just like with Hollywood. All these things are to just captivate us, and what's more captivating than a guy who's 7'6", can handle the ball like a guard, shoot pull-ups, block every shot, and on top of that, he cares way more about his numbers. He cares way more about winning than the numbers, because he could score 40 a night. But you got De'Aaron Fox, you got Dylan Harper, who you have to develop. You got Stephon Castle, reigning Rookie of the Year. You got Carter Bryant, who you want to develop. You got vets like Harrison Barnes. You got sharpshooters like Julian Champagny and Devin Vassell. You know what I mean? If you want to win as a team, I don't think you could be just one guy carrying a team anymore. The closest thing you're going to get to that, I guess, is Shea, but Wemby being the face of the league is good, although I understand the sentiment about not having an American-born face of the league. Yeah, Edwards doesn't want to be the face of the league. I think Tatum could be the face of the league, depending on how this comeback from the Achilles could go, but foreign-borns are killing the game. You got Shea from Canada, Wemby from France, Luka from Slovenia, Jokic from... Why am I blanking right now? Wow. For some reason I can't... Oh, Serbia. Whoa. Yeah, but these are just the top players in the league, and we need somebody on the American side to be the Michael Jordan, the LeBron James, even Kevin Durant would never really want to be the face of the league. We need it. So thank you, Wemby, for doing that for us. And the other award, I mentioned Clutch Player of the Year. That's going to be Shea. And Edwards obviously is up there. You got Jalen Brunson, who will always be up there. Sixth Man of the Year. Do we care? I don't even know who's gonna win. To be honest, I don't know who's the favorite. I know I picked Josh Hart. I don't even know if he's still eligible, because I know he started some games. I said Peyton Pritchard couldn't do it again. He started some games. I don't know if he's eligible. That award's so weird, and we don't really have 6 men like we did, Lou Will, Jamal Crawford, that era. Like, we don't have that. We don't have the Manu Ginobili's. We don't have James Harden on the Thunder. We don't have, you know what I mean? Lamar Odom. Like, I really think at some point they should just get rid of that. Because even if you are Sixth Man of the Year, I mean, I was going to say it's not like it gets you paid, but Nas Reed got paid off it. But does he want to be a sixth man? Like, do you want to be if you're a sixth man of the year, do you want to be labeled as that? Like, in this era? I know Lou Will and Jamal Crawford are two guys that are very proud of what they've done off the bench. I know Manu sacrificed so he could win championships, got 5 of them things, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I think with social media and, like, self-promotion and, like, entertainment and all that, like, really bleeding into sports, I don't think sixth man, like, the best bench player in the league, should it not be recognized, but, like, you could replace that with a much more valuable award. Like, you could have Offensive Player of the Year. Like, the NFL has Offensive Player of the Year and MVP, which usually are two different people. Offensive Player of the Year this year would be probably Luka. MVP is going to be Shea, or if you really think so, Wemby. So it's like, I think those will carry more value and more weight going forward than, like, a Sixth Man of the Year. Like, who cares that James Harden was Sixth Man of the Year? Nobody. I don't even think Manu Ginobili ever won a Sixth Man of the Year. So it's like, I don't know. So my pick of Josh Hart is probably wrong. My most improved player pick with Lonzo Ball is probably the worst prediction of all predictions. And I can't even really fathom how bad it is. And that's another award I don't know who's really going to win. Keontae George or something maybe. I don't know. These awards are just so weird. Like, I only really care about MVP and Coach of the Year and, like, things that actually matter. Nobody cares. If you're a most improved player, nobody cares. Especially if you're a top pick and you're most improved, you're supposed to do that. So it's like, Ryan Rollins. For guys like that, I guess it's important. But it's like, I think at the end of the day, it's just a stepping stone. It shouldn't even be, like, that much of a recognized award. Most improved. Who cares? Were you an all-star? If you're an all-star, if you go from a non-all-star to an all-star, I think that carries more weight than winning most improved player of that season, if that were the case. So, went on a lot of tangents here. But yeah, we're heading into the playoffs. My predictions, I think, if anything, I was at like 50%. As far as gambling goes, that's really good if you're 50% right. I think there's a lot. I think the NBA regular season left a lot to be desired, and I think we'll get what we desire in the playoffs. I'm not going to get into it who I think is going to come out of what conference, but definitely would love to see an OKC Spurs matchup, a Celtics Knicks matchup. You know what I mean? The Cavs, I don't really know what to think of them. The Nuggets, I'm kind of over them. So it's like, we'll see what the Pistons got. We'll see if the Rockets can figure it out in the playoffs. We'll see what's going down. I think if there's one team in each conference I would be afraid of in the West, it's got to be the Lakers. I mean, no matter what seed you are, no matter who has home court, you're playing against Luka and LeBron. LeBron's 41. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. Nobody wants to see Luka, the minds of Luka and LeBron in a 7-game series. You just don't want to do it. And if Luka catches fire, or even LeBron or Austin Reeves catch fire, and Ayton can, play decent ball, this team's going to be a force. As far as the East, I'm trying to think. Eastern Conference. Obviously the Celtics I wouldn't want to play. But the Knicks, I'm not scared. I felt like the Knicks were better last year. I'm not scared of the Knicks. The Cavs, You know what I mean? The Cavs, like, something about Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley in the playoffs. I don't know. James Harden too. Does that help? James Harden makes me think that they're better than they were with Darius Garland, but does that help in a playoff series, really? I don't know. I think the team I wouldn't want to see is probably like a Sixers or like a Heat team. I think they both have a lot of talent, close to as much talent as these top teams, but they also like play hard, like they play hungry, and Bam, if Bam can stay aggressive like he has been, shout out to 83. But if he can stay aggressive, you got Norman Powell accepting his role, Tyler Hero, find himself. They got a lot of good players out there. If they can get hot, they can definitely upset a team in the first round. And the Sixers, I mean, it's all about health. It's all about health. Embiid, Maxey, they shouldn't have gotten rid of McCain, but thank you so much. Shout out Jared McCain. He's going to be huge for us next year in the playoffs. For the Thunder, I'm saying. Very, very huge. But Tyrese Maxey is a killer, and I think he has like that AI-like potential where he can carry a team to at least make a series competitive. So that's pretty much all I got. Where I was right, where I was wrong. I would say predictions definitely were not my best predictions ever. I thought they were so sharp picks. But that's what always happens. I think a lot of people are afraid to put their neck out. And they'll say, oh, I thought they were going to do it. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, please stop. Like, I say what I say with conviction. I say what I say with a lot of conviction because I really believe it. I mean, do your own research if you don't want to trust me. I feel like, yeah. Anyways. More. So, I don't know. Going forward, I don't know what I'm going to do as far as, like, my next episode. NBA playoffs are starting, but I probably will just do a quick video picking my first round series winners. I don't want to dive too deep into first round matchups. Maybe a couple of them I will. We'll see how interesting it is. But by the Western Conference Finals, NBA Finals, I'm really going to be locked into that NBA shit. And I appreciate the feedback or the views on my last episode, Diana Pasulka. That could have been better. I just think, we're fine. Stepping stones. Do I need a script? Do I not need a script? Do I need notes? Obviously. You know what I mean? What are the settings that can film these things better? What are the settings that can make the audio better? What should I get a green screen? So we're making progress. I appreciate y'all that have been riding with me. Still trying to this is still making that once a month. We're trying to do it once a month. I'm a procrastinator because I wanted to do this episode 2 weeks ago, but we're making it once a month. Eventually we will get guests. I don't know. There's a lot of semantics, a lot of little details that go into that, but thank you guys for rocking with me. Let me know what you thought about my predictions. If you thought I was spot on, how far off I was, I just gave you the rights and wrongs. Do what you will with it, and I'll see you guys next month. Peace.